What's up, Raptors fans? Welcome to the Warped Report. With the Raptors starting their preseason against the Philadelphia 76ers, it's time to talk about 5 players you should keep your eye on during the Raptors preseason game. So before we mention those 5 players, guys, you know the drill. Give this video a thumbs up. It does help reach more basketball fans like yourself. And if you want to hit the subscribe button as well, that'd be absolutely amazing. I do give a shout outs to random subscribers on this channel. So for today's video, the shout out goes to Chris Donovan. So Chris, thank you for your likes and your comments and your support of this channel. It is very much appreciated. And if you guys would like a shout out, you can always let me know in the comment section below. And with that being said, guys, let's get into today's video. Now, the first player on our list should come as to no surprise, and that is OG Anunoby. As Raptors fans have been waiting for OG Anunoby kind of just to break out and show us his full potential on the offensive side. We know he's a great defensive player, but we've been waiting every single season to kind of hope OG Anunoby would finally do that, take that final step to becoming a really dominant offensive player. And I think this is the best chance for OG Anunoby to do that with Pascal Siakam being out for the first month. It's going to be a big season for OG to show us what he's capable of doing as the number 1, number 2 option. So it's going to be really interesting to see OG Anunoby during the preseason, because it's been a long offseason with the Raptors. Now, we know the Raptors missed the playoffs last season, that ugly season that it was, and gives the Raptors a little bit more extra time to rest their players, to work on their game. So I'm excited to see what OG Anunoby does. We've also seen some clips of OG Anunoby dribbling the ball, showing us some little moves of step back 3-pointers, his mid-range game. So I'm really excited to see some of the tools he's worked on in terms of what he's able to do. And we know his ball handling skills needed a little bit of work, and he's shown flashes of being a dominant player on the offensive side. Last season, to end the season, he went on a little bit of a streak there, scoring 20+ points. So I'm really excited to see OG Anunoby and see what he's capable of, how much he's improved. I want to see his ball handling skills. I also want to see him go a little bit more ISO plays. I want him to be a little bit more aggressive on the offensive side. So I'm really excited to see OG Anunoby. And what better way to do it than against our division rivals in the 76ers? We know they're a really tall, lengthy team, even with Ben Simmons out. They obviously have Joel Embiid. They have Tobias Harris. So it's going to be really interesting to see how OG Anunoby asserts himself on the offensive side. And I'm excited to see what OG Anunoby brings to the Raptors during this first month or so, but especially during preseason. We'll get to see some of his tools that he's worked on during the offseason. And with that being out of the way, let's move on to player number 2. And that is Precious Achiuwa. Again, it should come as to no surprise that we absolutely need to watch Precious Achiuwa. He is a young, electric, exciting player. It seems like every picture the Raptors Facebook page, Instagram page has posted is of Precious Achiuwa dunking high in the air. We know he's a very athletic big man. He's a young big man who is still developing. We didn't see that much of him in the summer league because he was playing in Tokyo Olympics and he was late to come into the summer league. But I'm excited to see what he's able to do against NBA proven talent. It's going to be really exciting. Again, it'll be interesting to see how Nick Nurse uses him versus the 76ers, because we know, let's be honest, Joel Embiid is quite a big man, and it's going to be a lot to handle for the Raptors. It will be interesting to see how the Raptors handle him, the different matchups they may throw his way. And I did see a little bit of highlights of Precious Achiuwa last season when he was with the Miami Heat defending Joel Embiid. I thought he did a fairly decent job despite Joel Embiid having 50, 60 pounds on him. So it'll be interesting to see how Precious guards him or other players. I'm excited to see some of the tools from Precious Achiuwa. I also do want to see his 3-point shot as well, which he's shown flashes of being really good at. I want to see him stretch the floor. I want to see him do more than just dunk and alley-hoop. I know he's very well capable of doing many other things. So it'll be really interesting to see how Precious Achiuwa plays against proven talent. We know he played limited minutes with the Miami Heat last season, but also because how we'll see Precious Achiuwa being used, whether that's in the backup position with the power forward, the center position, if we're going to play positionless basketball. We'll have to wait and see. And how Goran Dragic, how Malachi Flynn, and how Precious Achiuwa and our entire bench plays. It'll be really fun to see Precious Achiuwa. And let's move on to player number 3. Now, this player may come as a little bit of a surprise, and that is Yuta Watanabe. Now, this may not be the sexiest name on the roster. Let's be honest. He's still fighting for a roster spot. But the reason I'm excited to see Yuta Watanabe is the fact that he has talked about how much his Olympic experience has helped him. I think he can legitimately, if given proven minutes, consistent minutes by Nick Nurse, I think he could be a really good, consistent bench player for us. And just some of the tools he's able to do, some of the things he's flashed last season, he can handle the ball at times. He's a 6'9" small forward. He can play the power forward position. He can play him in multiple positions. So I'm excited to see what he does on the offensive side. He's talked about how he needs to be more assertive. He needs to assert himself a little bit more on the offensive side, be a little bit more selfish. And I think he's very well capable of doing that. You see, he's able to dribble the ball. He can attack the basket. He can shoot the mid-range. He's also got the three-point shot, which goes a little bit unnoticed. He shot 40% from the three-point line for the Raptors last season, and he took nearly about 2 3-pointers a game. So I'm really excited to see how much Yuta Watanabe has progressed. Hopefully he does make the Raptors roster. I do believe he can be a nice piece off of the bench. Give him, 12, 15 minutes a game, and let's see what he can do. I think he's capable of giving you some rebounds, some points, some steals. He can do a lot of different things in terms of on the offensive side and on the board as well. So I'm really excited to see Yuta Watanabe. And with that, let's move on to our fourth player you should keep your eye on during the Raptors preseason, and that is Dalano Banton. So Dalano Banton is someone, I'm not going to lie, if you guys know my original video when I talked about Dalano Banton being drafted by the Raptors, I was not excited at all. I had not heard his name, and I was a little bit disappointed in the Raptors for drafting a Canadian just for the sake of drafting a Canadian. But Dalano Banton has shown us flashes of being a really interesting player, because I do believe he's obviously far, far away from making the NBA, making an impact on the NBA roster, such as the Raptors, but just having an impact on the game, I think he's still ways away. But just some of the flashes he's shown us during the summer league, his length is very exciting. He's turned the ball over quite a bit in this first 2 games, which got me a little bit worried when I watched Dalano Banton. But the way he ended the summer league was really exciting. He was giving you rebounds, he was giving you passes, he was giving you steals, he's giving you a little bit of everything. So I'm really excited to see Dalano Banton. Now, obviously, I'm not expecting him to go out there and put on a great performance. I want to watch Dalano Banton for his developmental steps. I think he's going to take baby steps, and it's interesting to see how he'll play against NBA proven talent. Again, much like some of the players I've already listed, it'll be fun to see how he does against proven NBA talent. And the 76ers are a solid team as well, great defensive team. So it'll be fun to see how he does against them. Now, obviously, I don't expect him to put up big stats. As I talked about, I do expect him to take baby steps, and it'll be fun to watch Dalano Banton's development throughout the season. So I want to watch Dalano Banton just to see more so on his developmental stage. I think not because I think he'll have a big impact with the Raptors right away, but more so because I want to see him take those baby steps, slowly grow as a player. It'll be fun watching Dalano Banton through the year. So I'm going to be excited to watch him during the preseason. And with that being done, let's move on to our final fifth last player you should keep your eye on during the preseason, and this should come as an absolute no-brainer. That is Scottie Barnes, the phenomenon, the rookie who everyone questioned as to why the Raptors drafted Scottie over Jalen Suggs. We had that entire week-long, debate on a lot of Raptors fans still being angry. Some people still feel that we should have drafted Jalen Suggs, but I'm excited about Scottie Barnes because of how Nick Nurse will use him. And as I mentioned, the first game is going to be huge for us. I want to see Scottie Barnes guard guys like Tobias Harris, given the length, given his height, given his strength. I want to see him guard those kind of players who are really, Tobias Harris is a really good offensive player. So I want to see how Scottie Barnes will play against him, how he'll play him, and what he'll do to slow him down on the defensive side. So it'll be fun to watch Scottie Barnes throughout this preseason. I want to see him in different positions. I want to see him play the point guard position. I want to see him in the power forward position. We know Pascal Siakam is going to be out, so he's very likely to get a lot of minutes at the power forward position. It'll be interesting to see how Nick Nurse uses him in those different positions. I want to see how Scottie Barnes is playing. There was a clip out yesterday in practice, and Scottie Barnes looked downright scary. He just got the ball and he was fouled and he dunked it. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, it got me excited. It reminded me a little bit of Giannis. I'm not gonna throw out those comparisons just yet, but it got me excited. That little clip of seeing Scottie Barnes just soar up for that dunk was exciting. I'm excited to see how he does on the defensive side and the offensive side as well. I want to see him go up and dunk on Joel Embiid. It'll be exciting to see that first game and how Nick Nurse uses some of these players. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Do you agree with the 5 players I've listed? Do you disagree? What are your 5 players you want to keep an eye on during the preseason? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you guys are still watching this video, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Donovan. So, Chris, thank you for your likes and your comments. It is very much appreciated. And if you guys would like us, because Eric Spoelstra wanted the other big man who the Miami Heat had and his preseason game. So before we get into those 5 players, if you want to do me a favor, I can't talk today.